All right. So Pat, we're back again. Your internet's gone out for the last time, but
Darn you,
uh,
Wi-Fi.
anyway, it's all good. So yeah, so basically Blue Jackets made this trade. I liked it for their end, but what do you think about the Blackhawks as they go forward? You know, they signed guys like they get Fleury, they signed guys like Seth Jones. Um do they have a plan? What are they doing?
Well, honestly, I think the outlook is a little grim right now, but I really, the next big thing for this team is going to be this offseason when they hire a president of hockey operations, they hire a
Mhm.
GM, they hire a coach going forward, and they basically restructure the entire franchise. Everything right now is interim and nothing's permanent. And honestly, the season doesn't really mean anything. What happens on the ice really doesn't mean anything for
Yep.
the Hawks. You just kind of need to get through it. And the trade deadline is going to be coming up, and you might sell Flurry for a coupon. You might sell guys like Calvin DeHaan,
Mm.
and see if they have any takers. But you're not going to make blockbuster trades, I don't think, because even if Kane and Tays did waive their no trade clause, I don't know. I just their value isn't as high as where it normally is, and it's unfortunate because Stan Bowman traded draft picks away, so they're not going to have a first round pick coming up.
Yeah.
Um, it's grim. It really
If
is kind of grim right now.
if
They
the
they
Black
got Lucas Reichel, their top prospect, coming up for a bit, but other than that, the farm system isn't exactly loaded.
if the Blackhawks have really one of the worst records in hockey at the end of the season, Blue Jackets get this other draft pick. So of course that's what we're rooting for, and it looks promising. I don't know if they're going to be a lottery. I mean, they will be a lottery team. I don't know that they're going to be like a top two or three, but that's the Blue Jackets can get that conditional draft pick from that trade. So and there's some pretty big time talent in that draft. That's why shout out to West Coast Baez, great guy we like to give each other crap, but he was like, I guess you're not going to be recapping that Blue Jackets Blackhawks game later. And I was like, well, I actually did write it up last night. And I was like, I'm just going to throw this stat in here, the Boquist stat. And I was like, we knew the Blue Jackets were going to be a rebuild. If anything, they're kind of above the expectations we would have thought. They're one game under 500. And I was like, the Blackhawks were supposed to be a winner this year. But regardless, though, I don't know. I'm still like the thing about the Blue Jackets is they've had a rough go of it, but the Blue Jackets are scoring goals. They're kind of more exciting. They have some young players, so
Hmm.
uh, But yeah, can you imagine if the Blackhawks were to trade Fleury to like the Avalanche because they might want a goalie, and then it
Sure.
was like Colorado, Vegas in the playoffs, Leonard against Fleury. That would be fun.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, and the thing is too is when you trade goaltenders, you're not going to get a big return back. And Flurry is honestly the reason they've won some of these games.
Yeah,
And he hasn't always been great. He's been inconsistent, but when Colleton was still in charge, the defense was a train wreck. They were giving up 40, 50 shots a game. I was at the season finale when they let fans in the last two games
mhm,
last year. The Blackhawks lost 5-4 in overtime. They gave up like 55 shots in that game.
yeah.
Like it was ridiculous. And that was when we had Colin Daly on net.
Oh
And
yeah,
that's another thing too is when the new year started, the Hawks were on that streak where they had games canceled because of COVID issues. And then when they came back, Flurry and Lankinen were still in COVID protocol. So they needed to call Dahlia and Soderblom up. So literally their goaltending duo was the Rockford Ice Hogs.
yeah. That's right. Yeah. Remember? Yeah, you said Delia. They had Malcolm Subban in the net. I think he's still in Buffalo.
Yeah, I
Um,
don't know. They traded him and
what
yeah.
happened to? Are you surprised they gave up Pius Suter?
I really did not like them giving him away or
Yeah,
not bringing him back.
he went to Detroit, right? I
Yeah, he did.
was hoping Columbus would take a flyer on him, and then I was about to look him up. You might already remember who was the other goalie that they had. I'm trying to remember his name. Um,
The Hawks?
yeah, last year. Oh, Lincoln. He was kind of like a surprise story as well. Remember him?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's their backup right now.
Yeah.
He just
Okay.
hasn't played that much lately, and he's
Yeah.
been kind of this year when he's played. Last year, he looked very promising, and maybe the inconsistent playing time has kind of
Yeah.
affected that.
Yeah.
Because last year you had Malcolm Subban, you had Lankinen, and you were still trying to make Colin Delia work. Because if you go back about 3 years, Colin Delia was kind of seen as our goaltender of the future because we knew Crawford wasn't going to be here forever, and they needed to bring up someone to the system. Like, oh, they're developing Colin Delia, and I've seen a number of Rockford Ice Hogs games because I see them
Mhm.
when they come to the Rosemont when they play the Chicago Wolves, and Delia looks really good in the AHL, but just hasn't really figured it out in the NHL. He's one of those. He's like a quadruple A player in baseball, where that in the next highest league he's going to play at an all-star level, but when you actually get to the highest of the high, it doesn't come together.
He's like Ronnie Cedeno. Remember Ronnie
Oh
Cedeno?
yeah, oh yeah. How could you
That
forget
was
Ronnie Cedeno?
that's like the 4A that what comes to mind is that 4A type of a thing. It's like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
Ronnie Cedeno, like
Yep.
oh man, I don't know. Now I'm going back in time with Cubs players like Corey Patterson. 03 season had a great start, messed up, I think it was ACL and was it
Never
03 or
returned.
04? Maybe it was 04 actually, but yeah.
It
Or
was 03 because remember they
03.
went out and got
Yeah, Kenny Lofton,
Kenny
yeah.
Lofton. And then
Oh,
remember, you know who my favorite quadruple A player of all time was? Micah
mm,
Hoffpower.
oh yeah, yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Remember Josh Fitters?
Yeah, what didn't they take him like third overall?
Yeah, he was supposed to be like their third baseman of the future. He was supposed to be the next the next Ron Santo, the next third base anchor basically. Oh
Yeah,
well.
so much for that.
Yeah, well, it's been really fun to connect even with all the computer difficulties. It's all good. It happens.
I'll hardwire
But
this thing next time.
yeah, well, it's all good. I've learned my lesson in the past. I was like, oh, I could, yeah, hardwire would make sense. But, well, we've done this before. I mean, I don't know if you were hardwired then, but I don't remember it dropping before. So
Well,
whatever.
I used to do it in the basement, and that was right next to the router,
Oh,
so maybe that has something to do with it.
you are in a different location. That makes sense.
Yeah. We'll
But
do what works next time.
yeah, definitely, whatever works, and I'm good with that. But anyway, any final thoughts that you have?
Not too much. Just go Bulls, and it's crazy that the Bulls are going to be tipping off at the United Center at 9 o'clock local time.
Oh, that is crazy. Who are they playing tonight?
The Nets. It's a big game.
I know that they moved it to ESPN, but that is crazy. That's a crazy start time, even
So,
so.
like, that means fans are going to be leaving, like, around midnight at the United Center
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
in the middle of the
Yeah,
week.
and I was thinking when I heard 9, I'm thinking 9 my time, and I'm like, wow, that seems late. But then it's even later because it's 9 your time, so it's
Yeah, it's
because of the
10 your
ESPN thing.
time.
But I know the Bulls are back, and that's why they moved that thing to ESPN. It's a big time matchup with the Nets. What's the final score going to be?
All right. If all goes well, I say 115, 111 Bulls.
I know Kyrie's playing as well. But you're confident. I mean, yeah, the Bulls have proven in so far this year that they can mess with anyone.
They're
So
2-0 against the Nets, just saying.
yeah, but they didn't have some of their guys like Kyrie, right?
But to be fair, the Bulls have had a ton of missing guys too.
Yeah. So should be a good one tonight. You're gonna be watching that whole game.
Yeah, absolutely. And I really wish they had Alex Caruso back. He's been so key on defense, but I don't think he's going to be back until next week based on what I'm hearing.
Yeah, so both of Jerry Reinsdorf's teams look to be promising. Half the United Center tenants are good, and that is the Bulls. So we will see what they do. That's all I've got. I think that's all we've got tonight. So we'll have to do this again in the next whatever, end of the month, maybe next month. We'll have to maybe next time we'll have a spring training thing.
Whenever that happens.
If there is a spring training, exactly. Well, baseball's meeting tomorrow, so we'll see if the two sides can get anywhere. They'll probably go 10 minutes and say we couldn't get anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, even if they do get somewhere tomorrow, they're not going to figure out the whole damn thing in one day.
No way. This would just at the very least, they're just gonna have some kind of promising talks from there. So, yeah, we will see how it shakes out. But until then, we are signing off.
Peace out.